one day, I had to say, Mom, listen, if you can't respect my wife, right, you're not welcome in my home.
We are back in the kitchen with Mike and Diane, Dan and Danielle. And okay, this is kind of dangerous territory, talking about in-laws. We probably don't want to give too many personal examples that who might be watching. I don't know.
Some in-laws watching here. I don't. But you know what? It really is a very hot button topic because of the close relationship you have with your parents, and then the close relationship you establish with your spouse. So the parent-child relationship, the husband-wife relationship, quite often they intersect, but we got to keep those boundaries there, right?
It can be pretty hard to navigate because growing up, it's just ingrained in you. Okay, Mom and Dad, they're the boss. You listen to what they say, and they're the authority figure in your life. But then all of a sudden, it shifts. You're an adult. You get married. But there's still that, that childhood thing that's inside of you that you gotta, if they say something, I gotta respond to them. What they say is more important, shouldn't be, than my spouse.
It's funny, in college and university, one of my roommates was dating this guy, and she was constantly on the phone. Her mom lived a long ways away. Constantly on the phone with her mom, talking about him and complaining about him and asking advice about him. Constantly on the phone with her mom. Well, she ended up marrying this guy. And even after they got married, she was constantly on the phone about her husband because it was a pattern she had already started before they got married. And it caused some issues for them. Yes,
kind of
exactly.
Pitted
It pitted her and her mom against her husband. And so that's really dangerous. And so we have to be
You get
careful.
third-party offense. You tell somebody something else, you move on, you have the healing conversation, and then your parent is still holding on to it because
Exactly. They're offended for their child. That how could you do that to my... Yes, those boundaries are so important. They really are.
Well, I've had that lived experience. My mother-in-law was just sweet as pie, and she really did a lot of things in terms of preparing Diane for marriage, and really gave her some really good coaching. And I would even say great coaching on marriage and what we're to do. We're to, we're to leave our mother and father and cling to our brides, right? So that relationship for me and my mom, being a single parent and being so instrumental in my success in life, was a little bit more difficult for the transition. And one day, I had to say, Mom, listen, if you can't respect my wife, right, you're not welcome in my home. And my mom, she's been my all in all, and most difficult conversation, easily the most difficult conversation I've ever had in my life. And they were going through some things, and they worked them out, and today it's wonderful. But there was a moment there where I actually had to have a conversation with my mom. She visiting from Florida. It was a tough conversation.
So you set up a healthy boundary there. The first segment we talked about boundaries, and sometimes you got to say here are some boundaries that we shouldn't cross when it comes to interfering or whatever you might call it in our marriage. Now that we're in that stage, we're in-laws.
We are in-laws
and
now.
so, but you watch your kids, you watch them in marriage, and you just want to jump in and you want to say something, and you want to or bite your tongue or because you
it's hard.
It's
really
comes
hard.
naturally because we think, oh, we can help them with this, we can fix this, we can, and so because we did that with her growing up, and so you want to keep doing that, but no, you do have to have that boundary, and so from our perspective, we're trying to be sensitive to it, going that way as they're learning, coming back toward us. So it's a bit of a challenge.
It's a tricky dance,
Yeah.
is what it is, because you want to show your love, you want to take care of your kids, but when your kids become adults, as you guys know, and as you will eventually, that you have to take several steps back and just let them figure it out on their own. If they come to us for advice, we're all ears. But we can't give the advice unless it's asked for. And so that's the hard part for us, is we want to give it, but we can't. So we just bite our tongues.
And Mike, you referred to the scripture about, it's from Genesis 2, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave or be joined to his wife. But that leaving, it's not forsaking, it's not disrespecting them, but it's just saying there's a new priority here. She's number one now.
Yes.
But
And that's what should be. That's the priorities that God established. God, marriage, children.
I thank
And
my
that
mom
always-
for teaching me that and Ben for adjusting.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good show.
yeah, thanks for being with us. We'll be back to wrap things up in a moment.